Chase Knolls Garden Apartments. Greater Los Angeles is home to one of the largest collections of garden apartments in the nation, with nearly 40 built from the late 1930s through the mid-1950s. Known for their large open spaces and mid-century architecture, garden apartments foster a unique spirit of community for their residents. In the San Fernando Valley, Chase Knolls Garden is an excellent example of a garden apartment complex.
Los Angeles was growing exponentially after World War II, and Sherman Oaks was one of those areas ripe for development. It was designed by a team of architects, Heth Wharton and Ralph Vaughn. Ralph Vaughn was African American and worked frequently with Paul Revere Williams. Chase Knolls was built with a total of 260 apartments in 21 buildings on 14 acres, so it is a vast site. Great combination of indoor and outdoor spaces that created a home-like environment, more like living in a house than living in a traditional apartment building with a double-loaded corridor.
Because garden apartment communities are large with lower scale density, they are valuable real estate and are increasingly vulnerable to demolition. In the year 2000, a plan was announced by the owners to demolish the existing 260-unit development and build a new 403-unit project. The LA Conservancy and its ModCom rallied to help save the property, and with the help of then-councilmember Michael Feuer, it was designated a historic cultural monument in 2000.
When the building was threatened with demolition, there was deferred maintenance of the building. The roofs were in particularly poor condition. There was also, electrical, plumbing, and other aspects that were challenged, the infrastructure in particular.
Several owners tried and failed to do the work until Chase Knolls' current owner came into the picture.
Remarkably, this property owner went gangbusters and replaced all of the infrastructure, plumbing, electrical, in all the existing buildings with minimal disruption to the tenants.
Sensitive infill allowed the owners to build 6 new buildings in areas where carports once stood, adding 140 new units, increasing the number of housing units to 401, just shy of what was originally proposed through demolition.
Unfortunately, the tenants still had to endure the construction of 6 new buildings. But the combination of new and old is what makes this property special.
The project also benefited from incentive programs, including the Mills Act, to provide substantial property tax relief to preserve and maintain the historic property.
The benefit of the Mills Act has been employed here to reduce the property owner's cost and allow them to make a significant investment in the infrastructure, which really benefits the tenants and all of us. I should say also that the property, and this is important, is pre-1978, so it's protected as rent-stabilized units in Los Angeles. And part of our ongoing struggle with meeting our housing needs is to preserve rather than displace the housing that we already have.
An epic historic preservation project 20 years in the making, it was completed in September 2021. Though this project posed many challenges, including designing new buildings that were compatible with the scale, massing, and open space of the property, the rehabilitation was successful.
Well, no historic preservation project is easy, but in the end, we get an end result that really is a model for what historic preservation should be.
At a time when we desperately need more housing units, Chase Knolls demonstrates that meeting today's needs does not mean we have to sacrifice our historic buildings. Instead, by carefully adding to Chase Knolls, more families get to enjoy the sense of community and fellowship envisioned by the original architects. Now there's an idea to chase.